UFC 318 just ended and it was a hell of a card. We ended up making a ton of profit just like last week. We picked both of our underdogs correct with Patricio Pitbull and the underdog pick of the card, Veretenikov, who 98% or I think it was 96% of people picked against. We got Veretenikov and that was a good get. On top of that, three out of the four parlays that I gave hit. The Dulatov Gautier Ferreira parlay hit, as well as the one that was Dulatov and Ferreira by submission or knockout, and then the Gautier by knockout parlay for plus money also hit, as well as the Vinicius Oliveira, Brendan Allen, Ryan Spann parlay that also hit, and then the 9 leg high risk parlay was looking super good through the prelims. We were 9-0 on our picks for the prelims, and then once we got to the main card, unfortunately, Zellhuber and Holland sold it. But we will be giving our breakdown of this card. We ended up making a ton of money. It was a super profitable card. We ended up going 11-3 overall. But we'll break down this card real quick, starting off with the prelim opener of Carly Judice versus Nicole Cagliari. It was exactly like I thought it would go. Nicole Cagliari had her moments where she pressed her. She just was not good enough. Let's just say it like that. She was unable to crack the range of Carly Judice. I knew that she'd struggle with the jab and the range of Carly Judice, as well as I said that Carly Judice would come in looking better than she ever has. She looked really cut. She looked really in shape. She definitely invested that 50K from her last knockout into this camp, and she demolished Nicole Cagliari. There were no successful moments in the striking for Nicole Cagliari. Judice was stuffing all of her takedowns, and then she finished it with a beautiful knee and ground and pound combo in her hometown. Great win for Carly Judice. Not much to say here, aside from the fact that she dominated the fight and she looks like she is improving rapidly. Moving on. Bruno Ferreira versus Jackson McVeigh. My pick for this fight was Bruno Ferreira. Oh, by the way, this one my pick was Carly Judy's by decision. So she ended up getting that TKO. I was wrong on the method, but luckily we just took her money line. But then Bruno Ferreira, I said it's going to be submission or knockout. He got the submission in the first round. Didn't really have much trouble in this fight. He had a little bit of trouble finding range on the feet, but McVeigh didn't really do anything. Um, there was some kind of dispute whether which one of them landed the takedown. It didn't really matter because Bruno Ferreira was able to secure the submission and get it done. I believe, if I'm correct, I think it was an armbar. Um, I believe it was an armbar, but it was a nice submission for Bruno Ferreira. That was our first lock of the card that hit. We went 3 for 3 on our locks of the card. Moving on to Ryan Spann versus Lucas Brzeski. I think that Ryan Spann looked really good. He gave praise to God in his post-fight interview. I love when Ryan Spann's on because everybody knows like this guy's really, really talented. You know, he's knocked out Reyes, he finished Vince St. Preux, but then he also can show up and just be in his own head and fully psych himself out. So he demolished Lucas Brzeski. Not exactly the best win. Brzeski's now 1-6 in the UFC, probably on the fast track to a regional promotion as we speak. I'd be surprised if they picked up his contract. But Span looked great. He tagged him up on the feet, was able to get into a dominant position, and then submit him with, I believe it was like a guillotine choke. Kind of like it was a front choke for sure. I'd say it was probably more of a guillotine than a Darce because he was a lot more upright. But Brzeski is not good, but Span looked amazing. So I picked him by knockout. Um, but once again, I kind of just went with his money line. So we started off 3-0. We actually did open up the entire prelims, getting everything right, including Jimmy Crute versus Marcin Prachnio. Marcin Prachnio was a very popular underdog on this card. I decided to fade him because I just did not see the value there. I was like, Jimmy Crute has been fighting the highest talented guys. And then Crute, he came out there. He absolutely had a resurgence, had a beautiful performance, looked great on the feet to an extent. He wasn't like a world beater or anything. But then he ended up getting a good, nice, dominant submission on the ground, and he called out Dustin Jacoby. Super good call out. Those are two guys who are outside the rankings, and I think that the winner of that one could maybe get a ranked opponent. I like that call out, and I think that would be a sick fight. Jimmy Crute looked really good. Not much to talk about here as well. But moving on to Fugit versus Dulatov. Dulatov he had to keep that model face intact. He did not get touched once to the face, and he found the knockout very comfortably. Beautiful hook right on the jaw of Fugit, dropped him, ground and pound, and it was over. A little bit slow, kind of feeling out the range for Islam Dulatov, but he found it nonetheless, and I think he's a legitimate prospect at welterweight. Welterweight is our most stacked division right now, and I think it's only getting better and better because Dulatov is legit, and I think that he could be something in this division going forward. I vote for slow building him though, because we keep tossing these prospects in there too soon with these high level guys. Let's get him 4 or 5 unranked wins before we try to shoot him to a ranked opponent. Dulatov looked super good. All the stuff that I said about him before, that he stays super clean in pockets and that he is super good and super powerful in the striking. He's very technical. And like I said, he did not get touched. He said he actually has a Versace photo shoot coming up. So good on him. He was our second lock of the card, and he got it done by knockout. Moving on to our third lock of the card. Robert Valentine, in the first minute, like in the first probably like 20 seconds, he got stung bad. And he was like, yeah, yeah, come here. And then he just kept getting teed off on. This guy's a fucking moron. Pagan piece of shit. Robert Valentine got demolished, and it wasn't even close. Gautier, this was his best performance. He looked really good. Valentine's probably getting cut. He's been dominated by all three of the guys that he's fought. But Gautier, before this, I was saying, like, he definitely loses to somebody who can mix in the takedowns and this and that. He looked quick on the feet. He looked like an actual formidable force. I was like, oh, he's like a little Ngannou love child type thing. But no, he actually has some quickness, some pop, and some technicality. Obviously, we all knew he had the power, but the technicality and the speed are there too, and he looks pretty good. I think he's still in like 23, 24, so let's also slow build this guy. Um, we'll drop a matchmaking video tomorrow for what fights should go next. So I won't talk about all that here, but I will say Gautier looked really good, and I am excited for his future at middleweight. Moving on to Francisco Prado versus Nikolai Veretennikov. This was the underdog pick of the card, and we got it. Veretennikov did his best to sell this, though. Oh my God. He is a moron. This dude would be like a foot away from Prado and throw like a spinning back kick. And like this is the thing. He was piecing up Prado on the feet. His jab, his leg kicks, all of his combinations were landing. He was doing amazing in the striking. And he was just like, I'm gonna throw this retarded spinning back kick like a foot away from you. You're gonna body lock me and take me to the ground, where he sucks. Veretennikov sucks on the ground, and he just got outclassed on the ground, but he was able to get it back up. There was not a lot of moments in this fight, but I did think it was a clear win for Veretennikov. I believe I gave him the first and the second, and he had to hold on in the third. Um, but I do know that he definitely got the win, and that's all that matters. Our underdog pick of the card pulled off. This little midget, like I said, he was gonna struggle with the size, and he did. Moving on, Brendan Allen versus Marvin Vettori. Brendan Allen's, I like him. He's a dope guy, but I really hope it was just how dumb he is shining through, and he wasn't flexing his not dead brother on Marvin Vettori. Because right after beating Marvin Vettori, knowing like Marvin Vittori's brother died recently, the first thing he said on the mic, he's like, "How could I lose with my brother here watching me?" And I was just like, ah. That's like if he didn't mean to do that, it was the worst shit he could have said. But yeah, great win for Brendan Allen. He looked really high level. Like I said, he needs to be confident because he's going to be able to piece up Vettori on the feet. If he falls in love with the takedowns and thinks this is my way to win the fight, he's going to lose the fight. But he didn't. He got a couple takedowns. He actually got reversed and wasn't in the best position. And you know what he did after that? Didn't shoot any more takedowns, beat the shit out of Vettori on the feet, busted up his nose really badly. He was pouring blood, and Brendan Allen looked really good. I don't know if we could call for this guy to get a jump up of the rankings. Like, he was talking crazy. Adrenaline is a hell of a drug, because Brendan Allen was talking about I'm the best in the world. And I swear to God, he said, he put this on God. I'm gonna bring a belt back here. Like, dude, don't put that on God, because you're not gonna do that. Marvin Vettori sucks. This is not the win that you can hang your hat on when you're on a 2-fight losing streak before this. What the fuck? But yeah, he was wild because that post-fight interview, like he went brother for brother with Marvin Vettori, which was just wrong as fuck. And then he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm the best in the world. When I'm on, I'm on." He was talking crazy. Like I'm a big Brendan Allen fan, but I don't even know if we could jump this guy up the rankings. It wouldn't make sense if his next fight was up the rankings because everybody up the rankings he's either already lost to or would be too high of a jump up or is already booked. So we're gonna have to figure out what's next for Brendan Allen. All I do know is Marvin Vittori's done. It's a shame that this guy ever fought for a belt. But you know, he did actually look good in the boxing in moments. Unfortunately, he only knows how to throw a 1-2 and sometimes like a cross jab to the body. Um, he does not mix it up at all. Brendan Allen was landing like some beautiful thudding kicks to the body. You could see it right after the first round. There was a big redness on the lat of Marvin Vettori on his lead side underarm. And he was getting chewed up in the legs, chewed up to the body. Whereas he can only like he was landing more to the head, but Brendan Allen was doing more damage with his shots. Like I said, he busted up his nose. Vettori was pouring blood. So he really kind of dominated the fight everywhere it went. I had it 30-27 for Brendan Allen. This was another big pick of mine on the card that I was very confident on, and it was a sick fight. Moving on, my favorite prospect at bantamweight, one of my favorite ones in the UFC, Vinicius Oliveira. Oh boy, did that first round fucking scare me. He looked like shit. He like got like wobbled multiple times, got caught, couldn't find his range. I was like starting to think like, dude, do I cash this parlay out? All this kind of stuff. Because I did have that 9 leg parlay that I had told you guys about active. Um, spoiler really didn't hit. Fuck you, Daniel Zellhuber. Um, Vinicius Oliveira, though, I was like really starting to question it, but then I was like, no, like, because at the end of the first, he started finding his range, and I was like, oh, that's dangerous. Start the second, he like, and this is the thing. Vinicius Oliveira, one, he looked huge. Like, he looked massive for 135. He was built as hell, big, tall, wide, looked like he was the biggest frame for the weight class possible. But to start the round, he dropped Phillips bad, and he got so close to the finish. He was kind of chasing the finish. He was throwing all these kind of techniques. One thing that's so cool about Vinicius Oliveira, he's so willing to just stand on his guard and shoot in the pocket. Like, he's willing to be like, "Oh yeah, you want to come fucking put one in my face? Do it, and I'm gonna hit you with one 10 times harder." Tyler Phillips, Vinicius Oliveira walked forward with his hands down, and Kyler Phillips was terrified to throw at him because of the heat that was coming back in his direction. He dropped Kyler Phillips all over the place in the second round, was throwing all kinds of cool combos, spinning back, kicks, kind of like all kinds of shit. The 1-2 was landing consistently. The body shots were punishing. The knees in the clinch were big. And Kyler Phillips just could not get it going. The third round was more of Vinicius Oliveira pouring it on. And, you know, he kept looking for that finish. I love Vinicius Oliveira. He's a sick prospect, but we are going to have to figure out a few things because you can't just punt the first round and then come back, you know, because he's also not that technical. Like, you can't go hands down versus the Sean O'Malley's and the Piotr Jans of the division. So hopefully he is able to get some technical things figured out. But as far as this performance, he looked amazing. He schooled Kyler Phillips. And this concluded the prelims where I went 9-0. One of the best prelims that I've ever had. 9-0 on the prelims was amazing. And this is where it all went wrong. Daniel fucking Zellhuber. This bomb, bro. How do you like he was so in love with like, oh, let me just keep kicking his guard. Let me keep kicking his guard. I don't even I can't recall him throwing like a combo with his fists. This guy was only interested in like, I'm gonna kick to the body. I'm gonna whip a kick up at his guard. It's not landing. I'm gonna whip a kick up at his guard. It's not landing. I'm gonna keep going. Never worked. He got dropped by Michael Johnson in the second, and I was like, holy shit, this is really happening. This is not good. And it happened. Daniel Zellhuber got dominated. It was 30-27 for Michael Johnson. What can you say? Like, I want to give credit to Michael Johnson, but Zellhuber just sucked. Michael Johnson looked really fast. His boxing was clearly on a way better level than Daniel Zellhuber. This fucking pussy was talking about being champ. Daniel Zellhuber, don't ever talk about being champ again. If Rico Verhoeven really told you that you're doing everything right, Rico Verhoeven's a fucking retard too. Because what the hell are you doing? You just throwing these kicks at the guard. like Nixick, I saw a lot of people shitting on Nixick. Nixick coached a good fight. He told him what to do and he didn't do it. He refused to attack down the center line. His knees, his kicks, none of this stuff was coming down the middle. He did not jab. And dude, in the third round, he has no finishing instinct to think, oh my God, I'm down 2 rounds. I gotta throw. Backing up. Oh, this little ass shot's coming in from Michael Johnson. Let me take 3 steps back and I'm gonna throw a kick. He has no finishing instincts, zero grit. Daniel Zellhuber's a fucking disgrace. This guy sucks at fighting. I can't believe the line was minus 700 because this was the worst thing ever. I had like $40 on that 9 leg parlay. It would have became like 500. Daniel Zellhuber was the biggest favorite on the card, fighting a 40-year-old Michael Johnson and got outclassed in every area of the striking. Daniel Zellhuber, he's not going to be anything in the sport. This guy sucks. I am disgusted that I could not have that's the thing. It, I would like to say that I feel bad for not picking Michael Johnson, but I don't. Why? Who did pick Michael Johnson? Daniel Zellhuber is just a fucking disappointment. This guy sucks. This guy will never be anything in the sport. Go to fucking BKFC where you can't throw goddamn. Oh, I'm gonna throw a goddamn question mark kick at his guard and back up, back up, back up. I'm on the back foot. Oh, I got tagged. Oh, let me kick to his guard again. Like what the fuck? This guy can't fight to save his life. He's a bum. He will never be ranked, never be championship level, and just pitiful. Just pitiful. So that moved me to 9-1 on the card. This was another one that was a good pick by me. Patricio Pitbull was the underdog in this fight, like a plus 200, plus 175-ish. I wonder if they actually have that here. Plus 140 on here, but on most sports books, it was showing him a lot heavier of a underdog. But he did exactly what I thought he would do. I'd said that he'd look good in the pocket when he was boxing, and he did. I said that he would be the better grappler, and he was. He was able to get Ige down. He also dropped Ige in moments. The third round, Ige, so he won 1 and 2 clearly. Um, some people were arguing the first for Ige. No. Uh, Ige and Pitbull were very equal on the feet, and then Pitbull got a couple takedowns to edge that out. Takedowns are good to use as a scoring criteria when the round is close on the feet. Not it doesn't matter if he didn't do anything with them. He did something that was the bigger moment in the round. And then he also dropped him bad in the second. Almost finished him actually, landed a huge flurry. His leg kicks were pretty punishing. And then yeah, he kind of just had a bad third round, got caught with a kick. It was like a low kick that Dan Ige timed right as Patricio Pitbull was going in for a takedown. It kind of dropped Pitbull, but he was able to weather the storm, get to the cards, and win a 29-28 unanimous decision. This is exactly the level that I think Patricio Pitbull is at. Like I said, I think that him as like a Bellator champion, as a pretty high level Bellator fighter, is right around that number 10 mark in the UFC. I don't think he's as good as a lot of the top contenders, but let's be honest, Dan Ige is not exactly a world beater in himself. And I was happy with this pick. So both of the underdog picks that I made on this card did me right. Right here. Another guy who did not do me right. Kevin Holland, man. Like, this is the thing. How am I supposed to feel bad about not picking Kevin Holland? Or, I mean, I did pick Kevin Holland. Not he lost to Daniel Rodriguez, right? First round, Kevin Holland kind of just gets outclassed on the feet, and you're like, shit, he kind of got outpointed there. He might have even got dropped at the end of the first or something like that. In the second, though, he got dropped bad, like almost finished, like badly. Barely survived, kind of got out of it, worked his way back into the fight a little bit, like recovering, but he got battered. He might have got dropped actually 2 times in the second round. It was a bad look, so he clearly won 1 and 2. And in round three, credit to him because this is something fucking Daniel Zellhuber. Look at his fucking gay little smirk. Fuck you. This guy's a bum. Like, and what's the this guy like Michael Johnson and Daniel Rodriguez are both like pushing 40, dude. They should be family men right now. They aren't fucking supposed to be beating guys who are supposed to be making a title run. Jesus, dude. But I respect Kevin Holland because in the third round he actually gritted down and threw and dropped Daniel Rodriguez badly 2 or 3 times, had him up against the fence. I thought he was going to finish it. I was like, holy shit, Kevin Holland, this is a huge comeback. But right when he had this, like, because dropped him bad, he got back up. Daniel Rodriguez getting back into it. He drops him bad again. Now he's back up, and Kevin Holland's landed this flurry up against the cage. And then Daniel Rodriguez lands a takedown on Kevin Holland. Or I think Kevin Holland shot one and then Rodriguez ended up on top. But they both gassed out. Kevin Holland, it looked like he couldn't fucking move. Like at the end of the thing, like when he was on bottom, he was kind of like just like laying there, like he was already knocked out. I was like, is he fucking good, dude? But the credit that I give to him, he got this close to finishing the fight. So you know what? At least he understood the situation. It was like, oh, I got to go out there and throw. And you could tell he was disappointed in himself because this is the last guy that you want to be losing to when you were just talking about, I'm gonna stay here, I'm gonna make a run, blah blah blah. I didn't feel too bad about these. Um, no one picked Rodriguez. No one picked Michael Johnson. I was very happy with the Patricio Pitbull underdog pick because no one did it. This is the one that upsets me because I went 11-3 overall. I went 9-0 on the prelims, and then once we got to the main card, we had four straight underdogs win. In my video, you could even hear me saying stuff like, I don't think Roman Kopulov's better than like a 40-year-old Luke Rockhold or Yoel Romero. He's not that good. I could see a world where Costa outclasses him. It was exactly that. Costa wobbled him all over the place, dropped him multiple times. His body kick was super punishing. His leg kicks were thudding. His boxing combinations were super crisp. You could tell motivated Costa was out to play. Um, I had him picked all the way up until I made the video, until I finally switched it, and I go, no, I have no. They're like, I was like, there's no way that Costa and Ige pull off, or I mean, Costa and Pitbull pull off the upsets. There's no way that they both do. So in my mind, I was like, I got to go with one upset. I can't just go like chasing odds. That's what I thought it was in my head. I was like, I'm just chasing odds right now. I shouldn't do that. Well, I was right. I was like, but I also just like the coked up Costa at the press conference just really psyched me out of betting on him, and picking him. But I would like, I think even in the video I said like I'll be rooting for Costa and I'll be rooting for Ike because I like both of them a lot. But Paulo Costa looked amazing. He looked like the world class striker that he used to be. Roman Kopylov's no joke. He's legit. I definitely don't think he is as good as a lot of people hyped him up to be. And I just wish I picked Costa, man, because I like the other two. I don't feel bad about not picking Kevin Holland or I like not picking against Kevin Holland or not picking against Daniel Zahuber because they were like minus 600 underdogs. Everybody picked them. Um, but Costa, man, I really like even in my video you can hear me saying like Kopylov's. I don't think he's better than a 40-year-old Yoel Romero. I'm not betting on this because I could see Costa knock him out. I said so much stuff that was like right there to I'm picking Costa, but I just didn't pick Costa, man. Um, but yeah, great performance by Paulo Costa. He really wants to get on Kamzat, but the kind of problem is right now, everybody at middleweight's booked up with the exception of Strickland and Izzy, who he's lost to both of them. So we kind of got to figure out what to do with Paulo Costa, honestly, because like Jared Cannonier's fighting MVP, Whitaker's fighting DeRitter. Like we have a lot of stuff going on here to where it's like, so what's next? Like we want to have a cool storyline because Paulo Costa looked really good. This is the closest to prime Costa we've seen in like 5 years since Izzy broke him. And he looked amazing. I was very happy with Paulo Costa's performance. But yeah, moving on to the main event. This one I got right. Max Holloway. A lot of people were leaning Dustin Poirier, picking with their heart. I respect it. But Dustin Poirier had his moments, but didn't. Aside from like round two, like when I first watched it, I started kind of falling into the bias where like going into round five, I was like, oh, I got this. 2-2, 38-38. But then I like started thinking about it. I was like, no, I don't. Like, I don't. Um, Poirier might have won the second because Holloway in the first, like looked really good, like unconscious in the first, came out there looking like fully clued on, fully in flow state, dropped Poirier early, dropped him again, almost finished him. But then in the second, he dropped Poirier early, but then later in the round, Poirier dropped him pretty bad. And then he pulled Gilly on him, and like he wasn't super close. He like fully missed the Gilly, but I gave round two to Poirier. Round three, I thought was Max Holloway's round. He just was landing flurries of strikes. He really was in flow state all night. He looked really good. They just had a bunch of cool exchanges in this fight. Um, Honestly, this one kinda, like, got away from me. I didn't really get too, like, emotional with the Dustin Poirier walkout. I was expecting it to be a lot more. I was expecting to kinda get, like, even a lot more hyped up in the fight because it was a sick fight, but I just, like it didn't really get me going where I was like, "Oh, this is sick," like, anything like that. I was just like, "Oh, it's a good fight," but, like, I was just kinda watching or, like, the retirement didn't get me too emotional, the walkout. Like, I was expecting it to be kinda like a big thing where I was like where it's kinda heavy for me, but it wasn't. And then in the 3rd round, Max Holloway really poured it on Dustin Poirier. Did a lot of damage. And then in the 4th round, this is where, like, my cope kinda came in because I kinda wanted it to be this close fight going into the fifth. I gave the fourth to Poirier, but then like I went and like watched it back one more time before making this video. Ain't no fucking way he won that round. So he was down 3-1 going into the fifth, and I thought Max probably won the fifth. In the fifth, they did like they had a bunch of cool moments. Like they rocked each other, tag like one would tag one big, and then the other matches it. I remember I think it was in round three where Max Holloway came forward with like a 6 hook combination where he was just landing everything, and you could tell he was in flow state. Max Holloway's spinning back kick to the body looked really good in this fight. His pocket boxing was immaculate. I think Ilya might have took his chin a little bit because I don't think that Poirier shot drops Max a year ago. Like any time before the Holloway or the Topuria fight, I doubt that drops him. Um, but yeah, maybe his chin is deteriorated, so I would be worried about that going forward and picking him because Dustin was able to drop him in this, and he looked hurt in moments. His cardio looked um, less good than it usually is, but I'm not gonna tap that up to anything with Ilya. I think that is because Max Holloway put on like 10 pounds of muscle. He looked really big in this fight, so he was probably just getting used to, packing a punch for that long, carrying 10 pounds more of muscle, all that lactic acid in your arms and stuff. Fifth round was sick. They did like the little BMF point down. It actually ended in like I saw a lot of people clowning Poirier for clinching in like the final like 2 seconds. Fuck you. Like, are you serious, bro? He just put on a badass fight, and people were like, he went out hugging Max. Shut the fuck up, dude. Like, this guy's a legend of our sport, and you've never done anything except to watch him fight, and you're sitting there, he went out hugging Max, dude. He's not a real BMF. Like, he kind of got bitched in that final exchange. Shut up. Like, shut the fuck up. Um, yeah, man, that shit was lame. But and yeah, it was even cool. Like Max Holloway looked so sick in that like little point down exchange because he was landing everything. Like he really just was in flow state tonight. You do not want to fight Max Holloway in your retirement fight. Ask TKZ, ask Dustin Poirier. But yeah, then like we'll talk about like mainly after the fight because I feel like that's kind of what this whole card was. Um, kind of a cool send off and everything, but it wasn't even really that emotional, man. Like Dustin Poirier didn't even seem like he got that emotional. Max Holloway had to come back on the mic and was like, "Guys, fucking give us some energy. This guy's one of the baddest men alive." Like, because the crowd was so fucking lame. Um, Crowd was pretty lame. Didn't give that much juice. The walkout, Poirier like ran out. I was expecting a really slow walkout so we could hear like the whole music and stuff. Kind of like ran out. It all happened pretty quick. Like it just like I felt like that was the story of the whole thing. Like it all happened really quick. Like the fight was good. Like it was a good fight, but they got dropped a moment. So I'm like, whoa! But then like it was kind of like over. Like it happened and it ended quickly. But yeah, I thought the walkout was a little lackluster. The video that they put together for him was solid, but I don't get why you didn't try to put people that matter to him in it. Like maybe I guess there was the video of him getting that from people that matter from to him from before the fight. But maybe save that for after, like his mom and his wife and his daughter and his actual competitors. Like I'm sure in a moment of weakness in his retirement, he would appreciate a fucking Michael Chandler being like, "You're the man," and then like they could maybe squash their beef, or even like Justin Gaethje, like, "Man, we're 1-1, like you'll be a part of me forever," blah blah blah. Maybe they could get fucking Connor in there doing some curls with his cock, just not even saying anything, just like, "Justin, man, look at my fucking piece," like anything like that. Even Max, they could have had him record something beforehand because he is just such a good stand-up dude. They could have done anybody that he like trained with, Gamrot, Moicano, Dawson, like all these guys from ATT. I don't get why they were like, oh, let's get Izzy. Who, what the fuck? Or like Volk, who the only thing he has in common with is that they both kind of like won the trilogy versus Holloway. Or like, why is why is Nunes there, bro? Why is like I guess Patty Pimlet because he's in his division and he like can look up to him and stuff, but like I thought it was like a kind of a weak retirement video. Like Anthony Smith's one felt more detailed, bro. Like truly, it did. And I was like, I didn't get really emotional for it or anything. And then poor like like his team couldn't figure out how to get his fucking gloves off for like a minute and a half. So that like putting the gloves down took a minute. But yeah, it was just like it's kind of like a whole thing, but it wasn't very. I guess I just expected a better send off for somebody who I consider to be a top 30 fighter of all time. And that's no hate to Dustin. I think the UFC should have given him better. I just think it should have been better. Um, and I think that the card reflects that too. I think when you look at, Dustin versus Max, that's a sick fight, but it's already happened. I personally would have preferred Dustin versus Gaethje because at least they had a score to settle, 1-1, whereas he now it's like what's that shit Izzy said, it's 2-0, now I got one. So what? You're gonna say it's 2-1, now I gotta go win two more? Like it's kind of the same thing with Max and Dustin, where there's not much on the line other than knowing it'll be a fun fight. And then aside from not liking the matchup very much, co-main event Costa Kopylov, bro. You couldn't find anything like cool to put. Like there was cool fights on this. Like the prelim started off with I think like six straight finishes, and then Alan Vittori was a badass fight. Oliveira Phillips was a badass fight. What else? D-Rod versus Holland was a badass fight. But let's be honest, D-Rod versus Holland was the feature fight. UFC 311 had Yuri versus fucking Jamal Hill. We gotta do better, man. For Dustin Poirier's retirement fight, I damn near hope that they didn't get pay-per-view points for this because it's like I doubt that many people were tuning in to be like, oh, wonder what happens with the fucking feature fight of Kevin Holland versus D-Rod or Michael Johnson versus Daniel Zellhuber on the main card. Daniel Zellhuber, who's like I think he was like 2-2 in the UFC. Now he's like 2-3. Michael Johnson, who's Mr. Coin Flip, 15-15 in the UFC. Like, I get he has history with Poirier, but that's why you should put him on an undercard. Like Tyler Phillips versus Vinicius Oliveira, Marvin Vettori, Brendan Allen. Those were sick fights. Brendan Allen, Marvin Vettori, I wouldn't have even been mad if it was on the main card. But like I don't care about results as much. Like Dulatov, Atiba, they had cool finishes. Like the fact that these all started with finishes was sick. But stack a Dustin Poirier fight card, dude. Like, what the fuck? Why can't we have something legitimate here? It was really just this and nothing much else, and it didn't feel like this was much of a draw to me. Uh, main event Costa Kopylov, bro. Costa on like a three-fight losing streak, and Kopylov unproven. Just went to like a very close. Not it wasn't a decision. It would have been a close decision with Chris Curtis. What are we doing here, dude? Like I feel like this whole card was such a disappointment to Dustin Poirier and everything that he's been to the sport. You look at like all of these legends, and I don't think that they would get this treatment. Like, how the fuck do you have to have the guy who just left and gave a short and sweet speech come back to be like, guys, give hype to the fucking man that we are literally all here for? Like, I don't know, man. It was very underwhelming. But what I can say was we made a lot of money. I could be happy about that. 11-3 on picks. Only one that I'm upset about is the Costa one because I really feel like I could have got it. The other two were damn near flukes. Three out of the four parlays that I gave you guys hit, with the only one that didn't hit being the very high risk parlay. On top of that, if you were going into the main event feeling a little sketchy, I had the option to cash out for quite a bit of money, so I know you guys would have too. Um, but yeah, the safe parlay hit, the plus money parlay hit, and then the medium one for like plus 260 hit. So we killed all those. We killed both of our underdogs, and I'm not mad about any of the results of this card. Very happy wishes to Dustin Poirier in his retirement. He is a legend of the sport, and I wish him nothing but the best. I hope the UFC paid him right because considering how lackluster the card was, like literally, I hope they gave him 10 plus million in his retirement fight so this dude never has to worry about money again. Um, Shout out to Dustin Poirier. Shout out to Max Holloway for being just like a class act, giving up the mic, not talking any shit. Don't give him Ilya again, dude. Ilya will like murder him. Like it would be terrible. Like I have history with the champ. Your move next, UFC. Don't do that. Charles, you're next. Spoiler alert for the next video. But um great great card performance wise. Um it was okay, just name value wise. Tomorrow we will be doing matchmaking for UFC 318. So all the fighters that are on there, make sure to come back. We're gonna be doing that tomorrow. But yeah, really profitable day. All the parlays hit, all the underdogs hit. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to leave us a like and subscribe. Come back tomorrow for the matchmaking video, and peace.